Ayo, I'm Ancy, and this is Willo'Wisp. Last episode, we talked all the origins of Willo'Wisp and life itself. All the sparkly wisps of the water plucked out the land from the bottom of the sea, along with its sea creatures, blessing them with consciousness, life, and autonomy, the ability to appreciate beauty, nature, and creativity for songs, poems, and storytellings. The stories of the wisp of the water plucking out the creatures from the sea, pulling the land up so high that it created the cliffs and rivers to sustain the creatures that evolved from drinking the fresh sweet water of the coconut tree. These stories inspired the animals across the world. They wondered if they too could possess such power to be able to pluck a creature out of the water and give it consciousness and life and purpose and family and love. So, with their inspiration, they took the branches from the trees and the leaves to create rope and invented the first fishing rod. They plucked out many creatures from the lakes and rivers and the oceans to see if the Will-O'-the-Wisp would also grant these creatures consciousness and autonomy. No, they were absolutely humbled, for they knew that they did not possess this power and they never would, for they are not the glowing sparkle and beauty of a wisp. No, communion with the wisp or the water ended centuries ago, but the tradition of fishing and plucking all fish from the ocean and the rivers still remain. Well, the people of the island know well or the circle of life, for this circle has existed long before them, deep in the oceans between the sea creatures. It's a fish eat fish world out there. So the practice of fishing slowly turned from a ritual to a means of sustenance, but also respect. For to the natives, any fish that is plucked out of the ocean or the rivers could possess the blessing of the will or the water wisp. Every catch must be carefully examined to make sure that it does not have consciousness, free will, and autonomy. And of course, to respect the balance of life, one should never fish more than is fill. Taking away more than you need could result in the ability of that fish to gain ascendance and life amongst the land and the islands. And a fish out of water without a purpose is just absolute waste. No, most native residents of Willo'Wisp choose to be vegetarian. They choose not to eat the fish at all for fear that it might be intelligent, that they might be stripping away a creature's chance to be blessed by the will or the wisps. But this does not mean that people that choose to eat fish are judged in poor light either. For if you're only taking what you need and the will or the wisp allows you to do so, even those that do not eat the meat of a fish always participate in the ritual of fishing itself to keep up tradition at the odd chance that the will or the wisp would grant them intelligence. And they definitely go by the practice of catch and release and celebrate their origins and heritage. So all around the island, wherever there is a river, you are likely to find quaint little fishing spots in local tradition. No fancy gear, nothing. Just a little stool to rest your butt and a handmade rod made from the trees and the foliage of the island itself. Now, because of recent developments in the town of Willo'Wisp, the native residents have been coming up to the cliffs and rivers of the island to escape the rugged noise of construction and the bustling streets of the new developed tourist town. keeping their heritage alive and in peace away from the prying eyes of the tourists and the nosy minds of O'Air and Bonbon, because they absolutely love their tradition, but they are sick and tired of Nook Incorporated and O'Air's nonsense, and they're keeping this beautiful place of heritage to themselves, as they should. You're going to get some beautiful dirt decals, get a stool in there, and another beautifully handcrafted fishing rod. This place is super busy with fishing activities. And of course, this is still the jungle, so we're gonna need some giant vines. And go boop. Hopefully, I can get all nice. Perfect. Ooh, and I see another lovely spot for a fishing spot. Maybe catch some salmon going upstream. Get a cute little stool and go back with the fishing rod. Like that. Perfect. A little bit of a path and some pretty flowers. And go back. Get some wheat fields because it's super naturey, because no one has come here and destroyed and developed this area yet. That's right, Nook Incorporated. I'm looking at you with a wheat field. Marr. Super secret, awesome fishing spot. No one's ever gonna know. We can't let them find out. We're not letting Nook Incorporated know about this area at all. Otherwise, the heritage of fishing could go down the drain. And then what? Ooh, this way. We added a couple more trees on this area, and over here as well, we get some fishing spots. Little fishing spots. And you go boop, and you go back with a floor and all the floors. Brilliant. All right, let's go get some floors and some bushes. Oh my gosh, this area is killing me with the lag. I cannot wait for the update where all of these are gonna be in my storage. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing. Laggy floor depot. Oof, 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 oof. Oh, it's not laggy over here anymore. Huh, cool. Uppity up, up. We got a floor there, and a bush, an orange floor, a bush, another floor, and that's it. Oof. Okay, another fishing spot, and we'll get that right here, and go back. And then right over here, gonna get a butterfly. So I'm gonna get a little bit of a decal. No, butterflies are super important and definitely part of the history of the world. No, the wisps loved that all the animals all over the world were enjoying the land that he plucked out of the ocean. And he plucked so much land, so much so that he ended up creating the continents of the world. So in the beginning, all of the lands had waterfalls, and all of the plant life and animals thrived. But over time, some of the rivers and lakes dried up. The rain clouds that the wisps created over the ocean waters sometimes could not reach these vast lands. But the wisp is wise, and he created another species. Not a species with consciousness, but a species with a purpose. He turned the crustaceans of the ocean into insects. No, some of the insects had the power to walk on water, and some of the insects had the power to bury under the ground. But his favorite creation was the butterfly, to soar through the air like a fish and to be able to keep an eye on the wisp's children of the earth. No, the insects with all autonomy, with all intelligence, and with all creativity serve the wisps because that is their duty. The insects were intended to be the eyes, ears, and voice of the water. But somewhere down in history, the people of the mainland, those so far from the oceans and the islands, no longer communed with nature. The big cities all propped up along the ocean sides, forgetting their origins, granting their abilities to things such as trade routes and conveniences. Giant ships harbor on the ocean sides with technology to scoop up more fish than any man could eat. And what do they do with it? They make a $5 special for the filet o fish at McDonald's. every single Friday. I gotta get some of her flowers. All the flowers and bushes again. They go quick. They go real quick. And then we'll continue talking about McDonald's. McDonald's French fries. Nom 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 nom. Okay, I got the flowers. And I also time travel because it was getting real dark. And I need to see what I'm doing. Eek. Laggy. Dangerous. Dangerous jungles. Okay, McDonald's. So, the further away you are from the ocean, the less powerful the wisp of the water is. Well, the wisp of the water sent its crustacean minions, is insects, to help with the thriving of nature. Butterflies and bees doing their best to pollinate all of the plants that are so far from the beautiful, sparkling water source. But consumption ran rampant. The prairies full of harvests, miles and miles of desolate, dirty, overtaken farmlands, wheat fields, and over-processed earth. Well, the butterflies and bees tried their best, but a new invention was on the horizon. Insecticide. The very minions of the wisp, sent to help those far away from the water, were being killed by the thousands every single day. The wisp had hoped that its cries to the mainland would slowly reach the bees and the beautiful butterflies that he had sent there, asking them to come back to the water where they could live without fear of those who have completely abandoned their creator, drowned out the voice of the wisps, and chose to live with old magic. There are still some butterflies and bees that remain, returning to the sea where very grave matters are at hand. Though the wisp of the water had accepted that the ocean was no longer a hospitable space for his children, and that the salt of the water was almost poison to their lips, he could never have imagined that they would turn on him. Well, there are few places left on this earth with the magic of the Will-O'-the-Wisp, and Willo'Wisp is definitely that place. The love and acceptance and tradition of the native peoples of this island keep the tradition and the voice of the wisp alive. The mainlanders have abused this gift and have taken it for granted, but the natives believe that their karma will come, for the Will-O'-the-Wisp is strong. At least that's what they say on Willo'Wisp. Whether or not you believe these stories are true, the natives of the island will continue eating their warning of displeasing such a powerful being. They will keep their traditions alive, and they will continue to protect, for they have been fooled by Nook Incorporated once, but they will not be fooled again. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the build. I hope you enjoyed the story. And I will see you in the next one. Cheers!